So Canada is considering capping the student visa. The international students who are coming to Canada or Ottawa is considering to cap the number of intakes. Ever since this particular news broke out, the whole world or the social media, the internet has blown up with conversations, controversies around this particular topic. Guys, it is extremely important for us to analyze this particular news. How important is it for Canada to put a cap, or is there an alternate solution? What are my opinions? Can Canada actually put a cap on the the student visas? What exactly is the problem? Why this this issue actually broke out? So let's just try to analyze this particular situation first. I will answer the questions on whether a cap can come, not, or an opinion, or an alternate solution to this particular situation. We will talk about all of these possibilities in this video today. So if you want to study in Canada, if a Canadian study permit is on your mind, then this video should be extremely important for you. Please be sure to watch till the end. My name is Sahil. Guys, welcome back once again. My name is Sahil and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and I practice in Ontario. My office is in Canada. If you have to get in touch with us, please feel free to schedule a consultation and we would be more than happy to speak with you. Before we proceed any further, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, because we talk a lot about Canadian immigration. And if you are an aspirant of moving to Canada, then this is a channel that you must be subscribed to all the time. Ottawa is considering capping the international student numbers or the intake in a particular year because Canada is undergoing a housing crisis. So the problem at hand, and this particular news says Ottawa, which is the Canadian government. So Canadian government is considering limiting the number of international students who can enter the country in a particular year, so that the housing crisis or the housing market in Canada is not under stress. The actual problem or the underlying problem in Canada at the moment is that, as per the minister Sean Fraser, who is also the ex-immigration minister. So, sir, a couple of weeks ago, he was the immigration minister and now he is the housing minister. So, Sean Fraser gave this particular news that Ottawa or Canada is considering as a possible option to, as a remedy to the housing crisis. They are considering capping the number, and the housing crisis basically means there is an increase in the house prices, and also the rental availability is pretty low. Okay, and as per the minister, a probable situation could be that the immigrants / the international students are one of the major reasons, as per the minister. So, as the international students could be a major contributing factor towards these rental availability issue and the housing prices. Okay, so that's the problem so far. Now, let's just look at how exactly is the international student scenario sitting in Canada at the moment. Now, 2012, there were close to 275,000 international students. 10 years forward, which is 2022, over 800,000 international students, active student visas in the country. So, that's a number that's more than 3 times. Overall, the international student industry brings in about, this particular industry is approximately $26 billion, and also international students happen to be the largest contributor towards entry-level jobs, the labor available, and the inexpensive labor, or the entry-level payroll prices, or the payroll, the fees, or the salary that has been paid. The international students are big contributors towards the Canadian economy. That is also a truth. Today, the Liberal government, now you already know that elections are coming very soon. So the Liberal government is under pressure that because of the the inflation and the rising gas prices, and the whole world is under threat of recession. Another problem, as per them, is that housing is expensive. Now, we agree that housing prices have gone up considerably in the past couple of years, and Canada is jacking up the interest rates following US again. So they are jacking up the interest rates and trying to control the prices. Now, housing prices is one problem. Rental availability. So, for example, Brampton in Ontario happens to be one of the central areas where every student wants to come up because of the availability of jobs, community, and ease of access of the resources. So, lot of colleges in the Peel region, which is Brampton, Mississauga, North York, all of these areas, Etobicoke. So, lot of colleges are there concentrated in this area, but obviously the students happen to flock around these areas, try to take up rental properties. Sean Fraser says that one of the possible issues is that these private colleges do not arrange for accommodations, like no hostels or nothing. Hence, the students are forced to take up accommodation around the campus. And because these colleges are based in the GTA, the Greater Toronto area, quite evidently the students have to flock around the area because of ease of access towards the the college, and then the housing and everything, the jobs, part-time jobs and whatsoever. Same is the case with Vancouver as well, where Surrey is. So Surrey, same issue. That is what the immigration minister, the housing minister Sean Fraser has identified. He said that at the moment the Canadian government is considering whether, now the first question is whether students are a major contributing factor or not. If yes, is limiting or putting a cap on the international student or the number of international students coming to Canada every year, is limiting that number a possible solution? Okay, and they say that it's not, we have not said that we will cap. So we are considering, we are still debating, we are still thinking. If not, then we would want to look at alternate options as well. Okay, so there is nothing to be alarmed about. There is no worry in the market as of now, because recently Canada launched a couple of measures making it easier for the world to come over to Canada on student visa. For example, the change in SDS category, the language preferences. So they are trying to make it easier for people to come to Canada on student visas. If you look at the other programs as well, considering that the PR options or the express entry cutoffs or STEM categories or whatsoever have gone up high, and because it's harder to get a job, then student visa happens to be an extremely lucrative option for people to come to Canada. Hence, I think the stir up in the community or the internet, or the blowing up of this issue or controversy in the internet is pretty normal, because at this moment, people up to the age of 40-45 are also seriously considering student visa when they are thinking of coming to Canada. So it is very obvious that people are worried. Now, if you look at the international student industry in Canada at the moment, the importance is huge. So we are, despite all of these issues or probable accusations that international students are causing this issue, these are just accusations. They haven't been, the government hasn't come out with a statement saying that students are an issue. No, not at all. They haven't said that. They're saying we are considering, we're debating. Now, the importance of international students is such that it's over $26 billion industry. Lot of students inside Canada depend upon money flowing in to these colleges, to these institutions from international students. So for institutions, DLIs, this money is extremely important. Otherwise, they will literally break, right? You remember what happened with Australia recently when, during COVID, this issue happened. So similar is the issue here. Like, they cannot shut these colleges. And if they do, then the whole economy will be at the verge of collapse. Now, another major issue is that, or another major contributing factor in terms of international students is that whenever a student comes to Canada, he or she always takes up more than 2 or 3 years worth of a course. So that means those particular years of part-time work plus 2 or 3 years or 4 years of work experience on work permit. So that's put together 5 or more years of work experience, where the international worker is not negotiating hard. The international student is only worried about his or her job security. Hence, they are not, forcing the employers to pay a lot. They're happy with entry-level salaries like $14, $15, $16 an hour. All they want is a happy working environment and support for their PR or PNP whenever the time comes. Hence, for Canada to run its economy, to run the businesses, international students are extremely important, because once a person becomes a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen, then the person is free. Like, I'm settled. I don't have to worry about anything. Now I can negotiate. Now I don't want to work for less. I can earn for more. Hence, it is extremely important for Canada to keep international students flowing in so that the businesses can work. Now, if you go to Tim Hortons, if you go to Domino's, or all the restaurant, I'm just giving an example of the restaurant industry, or even say automotive or wherever, international students are an important part of the community. They work a lot, and they contribute to the taxes. The whole country is deriving taxes, their living expenses, their fees. So billions of dollars, right? Let's not forget that it cannot be easy for IRCC to put a cap tomorrow and let the government take the plunge, because it could be beneficial for them for 1 year or maybe, but overall in the long run it's going to be detrimental, right? So that's one truth and one benefit of international students coming to Canada. The next part that I really want to focus on is that what could be an alternate solution to this problem, right? Because See, I am in total favor of international students. I love this particular stream. I am a total believer that because all the other streams are really tough, and study visa for Canada is an extremely important pathway to PR. I am a firm believer of that. And also because these international students work really hard, I believe they are the most deserving candidates for a permanent residency any day, right? So that one factor you cannot take away. Hence, I'm also an advocate for the CEC only draws as well. So that is something that should happen. But I personally think that instead of putting a cap, I think the government should put a cap in a more molded manner. For example, they should segregate GTA and make certain circles. For example, give preference to students who are willing to go to remote areas, for example, other provinces, or maybe within Ontario. If you talk about, say, remote areas like Thunder Bay or wherever, give the students some sort of benefit if they can. So devise a particular study permit stream where they can give students who are going to the other the cities or the provinces, try to give them some benefit. That could be one solution. Second solution could be, if there are no DLIs or colleges or institutions, incentivize these colleges to open remote campuses. Okay, so open satellite campuses. Say, for example, any college which is famous in GTA, if they open up a campus in North Bay or say Sudbury or wherever, incentivize the college to build up a community there, build up a hostel, help the community grow, make certain jobs, maybe a shopping mall, maybe food areas, offices. Incentivize these DLIs, because these are big groups, right? Like, these are investor groups, these are public colleges, private colleges. Incentivize these heavy money makers to set up shop in remote areas. Incentivize them to open up houses, hostels, and small business centers, offices. And then once they're incentivized, for example, cheaper land, or say reduced taxes, and then a break on fees or whatever the government can assist them, tell them to do that, and then put up a probable cap on the number of students that can enter GTA, and then try to push people outside to those colleges and to those communities. Like, I think this double pronged strategy will be beneficial for IRCC, right? Instead of putting up a cap, I think they would want to further increase the number so that more and more students could go towards those provinces or to those communities. The third added on solution to this could be put up a new PR program for people who've lived in those provinces or in those cities for, say, probably 2 or 5 years or 3 years or whatever, and then students who study in a particular college and probably work for 2 years or 1 year could particular get a specific PR like the RNIP stream, and then help them. So a clear cut example would be the Alberta Rural Renewal Stream. Right now there is a dearth of jobs in the rural areas of Alberta, right? So they could devise something like that even in the remotest places of Ontario or the other provinces, right? Guys, personally, I think putting up a cap on the student visa program is not really a good solution, although the government is totally unpredictable. They can do whatever they want, but I think it's not a good solution because Canada needs students. The economy needs more international students. I am also assuming that they could put up a cap in a different, very varied manner. For example, putting a cap on where they're landing, or kind of background, country, place of residence, marks, education level. If they could consider capping those things, I don't know. But instead of that, putting up an area related, because this is an area related problem. This is not a country related problem. It's not like they have an issue with India sending in more students or China sending in more students. They have an issue that more and more students are coming to Ontario or say GTA. Then probably try to push them away and try to take the colleges also to different places, and so that more colleges can open and they can start operating easily and start accommodating more students. Guys, this is the whole situation, and there is nothing to be worried about as of now because this is just a debate. They're still discussing, and obviously the elections are close by, so like every government, they have to show that they are actually worried about the people, and right now this is that situation only. Let's see what kind of a solution they bring up. The immigration plan is also set to come in soon enough in the next couple of weeks, so we will know. The new immigration minister is also here, who's also focused on the trades, agriculture, and all of those categories of the occupation. So let's see. A lot of changes are coming in. I think Canada is right now sitting tight-lipped and tight-actioned so that they will release new programs and new updates in the coming times. Guys, I hope the news was helpful, gave you much insights into what's happening in the world of Canadian immigration and with respect to this news. If you have anything to discuss with us, please feel free to schedule a consultation and we would be more than happy to speak with you. Once again, I wish you all the best and I really hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.